Welcome back. So far we have used the image file, retrieved the image file from the repository, and we have, we had the Docker images run and we got the outputs. Now, what if you want to have that in a kind of an instruction in a file? So any of the, something like a program you want to have and then execute them. In that case, what needs to happen is we need to use the something called as Docker file, and based on the Docker file you need to build the images. So Docker can build images automatically by reading instructions from a Docker file. So these are instructions, these are sequence of instructions, one after the other. It is not like a programming language where you can build up many logics inside the programs, but here it is going to be instructions. So based on those instructions you can build the image. So that is where you keep it in a Docker file, all the instruction, and then build the image. And this build is run by Docker daemon. So this is kind of a sample. You will see something like from, copy, run, command. So all this is from is the it's called the base image. So from creates a layer of Ubuntu image. Beginners, it is enough to understand that every Docker file must start with from instruction in the form of from. So it's kind of a base image. From that you build up, you copy certain files, because these are copy, or in some cases that could be add as well. So some of the specific files, that is reference files or the dependence files, those would be copied along when you create an image. So that is where copy is used. Copy, add, both copy are designed to add directories and files to a Docker image in the form of add and copy. So add files to the Docker client directory. So basically, if you understand, it is something like whatever the references, which maybe in this case it is the, you're going to use the app.py, that is the program. We will be using Python. So that program might refer some of the dependencies, so that needs to be copied as well. So you'll have from, you'll have copy, you have run to build your application with make, and then command specifies what command to be run within the container, and then you have work directory. A very convenient way to define the working directory is used to subsequently run commands, entry point, copy, add. You specify the work directory, and if directory doesn't exist, Docker will create for you. So this is in a nutshell. You can remember a Docker file as something like instruction, and those instructions have, just like any programming language, you could have some of the syntax like from, you need to have from, copy, run, command, and so on. So based on those instructions you build the image, and then you execute the image. So it will be better understood by taking an example. We'll see that in the subsequent presentation. Thank you. Okay, let's now use the Docker file and create the instructions, and then what we'll do is we'll build the image and then run that image and see what is the output. So here is what we are going to do. We are going to create a directory and then create a Docker file. So basically, nothing much. So we are going to use as the Python as a base image and copy the necessary source files to run the Python. And in the index.py, we are going to create one small Python file. Again, it will just have a print statement, print hello from Python. So that is what we are going to have. Then we are going to, with that, we are going to build that image. And then of course, this is just to check the image whether it is built. And finally, we are going to run that Python app. Basically, what are we expecting? It should basically print out hello from Python file. So that image should print out. So that is the exercise we are going to perform. So far we have downloaded the image, and then we try to access through the web with opening the ports. And now we are going to diversify and create a Docker file with the instructions, and with the instructions we are going to build the image and then execute that image. So the first step is we got to make a directory. So we will make a directory. So make dir, so Python docker dot app. So we are creating the directory ls-l, so that directory is already there. So we will change directory and there is no files there. So what you need to do is we need to create that file, two files. One is the Docker file, the other one is the index.py. So the first step is here sudo docker build. So sudo docker build -t python dot app. So it will read the Docker file and it needs to create the image. So Docker build options. So let's see. This looks to be a syntax problem. So I think I got to give a space and then provide with a full stop. Sudo build Python. Yeah. So repository, getting the Python, pulling, and it starts building. So trying to pull Docker IO library Python and then pulling from Docker library Python. It's pulling that Python image and then it will have all the dependencies so that the Python program can run independently. So that's what it is performing. So it's building the image. So there need to be, this is syntax, so you need to have a space and a full stop. A very small program, but because you're building an image out of it, it's taking some time. Hmm, 173, 185, 192, that's complete, extracting. So let's come back once it gets over. So all done. Downloaded the newer image of Python latest, copy. So it has copied that, running, removing intermediate container, successfully built. So all that is done. Now if you do a sudo docker images, so you have the Python app is already done. So just 30 seconds back. Now if you do a sudo docker run Python app, so we got it, hello from Docker Python. So now one question, like suppose you have file over here, nano index is what you have. What if nano is for the editor, you can use VI editor. What if I change it, I say hello there, will it get changed? Will it reference back? Because we have changed it. So I say cat index.py. So we have changed it. We have added, earlier it was just hello there we have added. So what are we, will we be getting that hello there from Docker Python? Let's find out. What is the answer? So if you think through, I think you should have the answer. It will not come because we have built the image. It is not going to reference back again. What you could ideally do is, because we have changed it, you got to rebuild it, maybe with a different name, or drop this image, drop the associated containers and then recreate it. Then yes, you'll get the hello there, you'll get the image. Otherwise We have already built it. So whatever is already built, it is trying to display the information from that particular already built image. So now I think we have checked how to use a Docker file. So Docker file will have the instructions, and when you build an image out of the Docker file, it reads the instructions from the Docker file and builds the image, and then you can run that Docker and check the output as well. So that's in brief about the Docker file, which is very essential as you go. I mean, so far we have used the standard images. When you want to create your own custom images, one is the Docker file, the other one is Docker Compose.